Sox had to battle hard last night. A big swing from Gregory Polanco in the 8th inning, and a game-winning swing from Jung-Ho Kang in the 9th propelled the Pirates to an 8-7 win over the Minnesota Twins in this interleague contest. Game 2, a matinee. Pirates and Twins wrap up this brief 2-game series here this afternoon. Hi again, everyone, with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Inch-Mikowski is with us as well. The bases clearing double by Gregory Polanco in the 8th inning. Absolutely outstanding. It seemed, John, last night like Gregory was hitting everything hard.
Yeah, he's been locked in. He's hitting 4 line drives, kind of bad luck 3 of those times. Pretty impressive you score 8 runs when your 3-4 guys go 0 for 10. But Polanco, that big hit off a very tough lefty in Dunsing, 288 since July 6th. It could be way higher than that with any luck. The 11 RBIs coming out of the leadoff position, pretty impressive. And Jung-Ho Kang, you can't say enough about him. 385 in 18 games. This guy, I think, was born to drive in runs and be productive and get those big hits. He had about an RBI per game last year in Korea. Very good hitter.
Yeah, outstanding work from Jung-Ho Kang once again. He'll be back out there at shortstop. On the hill for the Pirates, Francisco Liriano. He makes his return to Minneapolis against his former team. He is the all-time strikeout leader here at Target Field. Frank is back in the Twin Cities. We'll take a look at today's starter in a moment. Autograph from a Pirate, but he's going to enjoy this game today, we hope, with or without his sister here. Frankie Liriano warming up in the bullpen. Liriano, the left-hander, had a good start last time out, John, against the Washington Nationals. His slider was in full effect.
Yeah, his secondary pitches are so good, and it's swing and miss. You can't lay off it. Then he can throw that 94 under your hands. Just so fun to watch. When he's on, he gets ahead and he finishes those hitters. 11 punch-outs, just 3 walks, and again, he doesn't give up any hits, just 3 hits a lot.
Another guy who throws a bunch of sliders is Irvin Santana. Santana's had back-to-back shutout performances. He has a scoreless inning streak of 15 2/3 coming out of the All-Star break.
Yeah, a great slider, pretty good changeup as well. Would go with the low 90s fastball. Just getting back, you see there his fifth start. That last start against the Pirates last year, by the way, all three of those runs on solo homers. So Santana pretty decent, but hopefully the Pirates can get to him.
So Irvin Santana and Francisco Liriano, the pitching matchup in their second and final game between the Pirates and the Minnesota Twins. Let's go back to Pittsburgh. Rob King standing by with a game break. Leading his team out, getting ready for this start, his second ever against the Pirates, his fifth start of the year. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Wednesday afternoon in the Twin Cities. Warm temperatures, bright blue skies. And that leads us to our Toyota lineup for the Pirates this afternoon. Gregory Polanco leading off. Marte back in the lineup today. He had a stomach ailment last night. Andrew McCutchen, Aramis Ramirez, Jung Ho Kang batting sixth. Neil Walker hitting .303 in 23 games this month. The designated hitter is Pedro Alvarez, Francisco Cervelli catching, and Travis Ishikawa batting ninth.
And they'll face Irvin Santana, the veteran, coming off two real good starts, 15 2/3 innings without allowing a run, just 9 hits of that. And the veteran knows how to pitch, has a great slider. In fact, he has 21 strikeouts in his 4 starts. 20 of the 21 strikeouts coming from that slider. The other strikeout from a fastball. So when he gets ahead, be ready for the breaking ball.
And you're a right-handed hitter, you got to show some patience against that slider, right? So Defensively for the Twins this afternoon, Shane Robinson will make the start in left field. Riot brought to you by Honda. Aaron Hicks in center. Eddie Rosario is in right. And Nunez, Escobar, Dozier, and Mauer around the infield left to right. Kurt Suzuki doing the catching. Suzuki ready to accept the game's first pitch as Gregory Polanco will stand in against Santana. And what's the challenge, Rock, against the slider as being a left-handed hitter like Polanco as opposed to a right-handed hitter like Marte, who's next?
Well, probably going to go towards the changeup more often against lefties than the slider. He will throw it to lefties, but more likely the changeup, a bigger pitch. Anytime you're looking for a slider, if you do look for a slider, you never want to look for it down in the zone. You want to look it up. If it's down in the zone, good chance it's going to break down, perhaps in the dirt, but for sure for a ball. But if you look for it up around the belt, it should be a good pitch to hit.
1 ball, 1 strike to Gregory. Had a ball taken off the top of the wall last night in center field by Aaron Hicks, and also Escobar, the shortstop, laid out for one right behind the second base bag. A bullet he hit up the middle. Robbed of the hit, this time to the right side. A diving stop by Mauer. He finds Santana covering the bag, and there's 1 out.
Another bit of bad luck for Gregory Polanco. A great play made against him last night by the shortstop. 2 line drive bullets to the center fielder. And now Joe Mauer falling to his right, perhaps taking away a base hit.
1 gone for the Pirates in the top half of the first inning. Starling Marte, a late scratch from the lineup last night. Healthy and ready to go here today. Takes a strike. .291 the average for Starling. And breaks his bat, rolls it to Dozier at second base. And he is out. Third baseman Nunez had to get out of the way. That bat was headed right for him. Rivers Casino tips to win this afternoon, Rock.
Hopefully a couple more long balls. This offense it kind of gets streaky with the home run ball, and all 3 the runs they scored off of Santana coming on the home run, and for Liriano, get him swinging. I thought the Twins did a great job against Francisco back at PNC Park in May of not chasing Liriano. And then Frankie can get ahead of these guys, start throwing that slider and a changeup, and get these guys out in front and chasing pitches.
McCutchen went 0 for 5 last night, struck out twice. 1 ball, 1 strike to McCutchen.
And that's what's so impressive about this offense right now, and Polanco and Gung and others stepping up, driving in runs, coming up with the big hits, because McCutchen, as you mentioned, 0 for 5, as was Aramis. And so you don't expect to score 8 runs. If you score 8 runs, you're looking at your 3-4 guys doing damage, and that wasn't the case last night. Teammates picking them up.
2 strikes on McCutchen, 2 balls and 2 strikes. There is Aramis Ramirez, still looking for his first hit as a Pirate.
Well, second time.
Second time around.
A bunch of hits.
The current edition of the Pirates. Yeah, he had a lot of hits with the Pirates.
That is shared.
But in 2015.
Well, he'll get at least 1 today.
McCutchen pops this one up foul.
The times that Andrew struggled are very few and far between, and you should tell the timing's a little bit off right now. A little out in front of the breaking ball, a little behind the fastball. Every hitter goes through it. You just don't expect it that often from Andrew.
3 balls and 2 strikes. That one in the dirt. And Santana faced the Pirates last year with the Braves. This is his only season in the National League. He had been with the Angels for a long time, then with Kansas City. 3-2. And McCutchen strikes out. The Pirates go 1-2-3 in the top half of the first inning. Francisco Liriano coming up.
Paul Molitor, the manager here, who has had such a great career as a player, now starting out as a manager. Brian Dozier leads off Aaron Hicks. Has 7 multi-hit games this month, switch hitting center fielder. Mauer and then Sano, the designated hitter. And 3 innings. Rosario, Nunez, and Escobar right in a row. Kurt Suzuki bats 8th. Shane Robinson hits 9th against Francisco Liriano.
And what a year Francisco Liriano is having. Pretty amazing. His ERA, or his record, is only 6-6 with that ERA at 2.91. Many more strikeouts than innings, 136. Opponents only hit 190 against him. And Liriano is start number 20. His first 19 starts, he's allowed more than 6 hits only twice. And both times he allowed just 7. Truly remarkable.
Well, Liriano is set to throw his first pitch. And Dozier takes high and away, ball 1. Dozier, first-time All-Star this year. Got a pinch hit solo home run in the 8th inning. Hit it off Mark Melancon in the All-Star game in Cincinnati.
Hey, good take. Got a boy.
There's 51 extra base hits. Most in the American League. 1-1 pitch. Now it's 1-2.
You know, it's pretty amazing about Liriano and you know, the few hits he's allowed. I mean, you think of Tony Watson, who is one of the best left-handed relievers in the game. He goes out and has 1 bad outing. He allows 5 hits in 1 inning.
Oh, no.
Liriano has allowed more than 5 hits only 5 times all year as a starter.
Up in the air to left field, playable for Marte. Wynn's got it, and he drifts back with it and makes the catch for the first out.
19 starts allowing more than 5 hits just 5 times. I mean, it's truly remarkable how hard he is to hit, how good his stuff is.
Tony Watson allowing 4 runs last night. That's just the 3rd time in his career, and first time since 2012 that he's allowed 4 runs in a game. Windy day today, and the wind heading out toward left.
They're talking about gusts, perhaps 25-30 miles per hour later on this afternoon.
Aaron Hicks batting right-handed against Liriano.
This is one of the few stadiums, the newer stadiums, it's almost totally closed. Most of you have more open areas in the outfield, and so you never know how the wind's going to play. Sometimes it has the opposite effect. If the wind's blowing out the left and you have a second and third deck like they do here, it'll hit off that deck and kind of, you know, at the field level, the wind's blowing in. When you get it above, it'll blow out.
In the center field, past Walker, and Hicks has a base hit. 1-out single for the Twins center fielder.
Doesn't hit all that hard. I'm thinking off the end of the bat. Yeah, right off the end of the bat. Just perfectly placed. Neal was playing a little bit up the middle, but that ball being hit to the left side. Neal with the diving effort, but even if he came up with it, wouldn't have had a play.
Here's Joe Mauer. Mauer made a nice play in the first inning on Gregory Polanco, the diving stop. 9-game hitting streak, season high for Mauer. Strike 1. Last year from mid-June to mid-August, he had a 16-game hitting streak. And maybe playing first base has been good for him, good for the Twins, because he has played at 97 of the 98 Twins games this year. Just missed 1 game. That was part of the thing with him. Catching just wasn't as durable behind the plate as he had hoped to be.
I think it's tough for any catcher. You're not going to. You'd be lucky to play 130 games a year as a catcher, and that's if you stay healthy, which is almost impossible. Not to get nicked up behind the plate.
2-1 to Mauer.
Pretty good take right there. Pretty amazing take right there. You know, Liriano gets so many swings and misses. That was a pretty good slider that just, Started on the plate and just broke off, and Mauer didn't even flinch.
Left-right splits pretty even when you look at the average. Frankie falls behind 3-1. Mauer with over 1,500 hits. The 6th Minnesota Twin to get to that plateau. Kirby Puckett, Rod Carew, Tony Oliva, Ken Hrbek, and Harmon Killebrew, the others. At 1,500 or better. Strike to Mauer. Of course, Kirby Puckett finished with 2,304 hits, just ahead of Rod Carew's 2,085. And of course, Killebrew with 1,713. Hicks at first, 3-2 pitch to Joe Mauer. And it's a ground ball towards short. Jung Ho will have one play. It's to first. He had to go a long way to his right. The play just took too long to develop to get the force out at second base. So 2 men out, and Hicks at second. Rod Carew, Tony Oliva, 2 of the franchise 4 for the Minnesota Twins.
Rod Carew doesn't look much different than he did 40 years ago.
Those are the numbers: 6 for Oliva, 29 for Carew. Retired here in Minnesota. Well, Rod Carew just had that unorthodox batting stance where he'd crouch down and wave his wrists around. He just had such fluid wrists. Put the ball wherever he wanted to, it seemed.
Looked like he just slapped it too. Not much effort in his swing. Flay it in the left, the middle.
Miguel Sano, 22-year-old, is the designated hitter. Seeing that Liriano changeup, 1 ball, 1 strike.
I think as a young hitter and to face a guy like Liriano would have to be so tough, because when you're expecting a fastball, you're going to get something off speed. When you're expecting something off speed, you'll get the fastball. That's a pretty good take.
Sano signed with the Twins out of the Dominican Republic in 2009. He's a 16-year-old. Strike 2. Pirates had a lot of interest in him. It didn't work out. He went to the Twins instead.
Laid off the slider, couldn't lay off the changeup, and pitch right at the knees. Perfect placement.
Two to Sano. There he goes down looking. First strikeout for Liriano. Twins leave a man at second after 1 hit. On to the second, scoreless in Minneapolis.
Elite Sports is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota helps you get the most out of your drive. Just ask a friend who drives one. Toyota, let's go places. And by Barrel Automotive, we're driven to be better. Let's go Bucks.
Andrew McCutchen reflecting on things today. Neat shot. No hiding who he's talking to. No score. Top of the second inning with John Wehner. I'm Tim Neverett. Robbie Mikowski with us as well. Aramis Ramirez fouls this one back. Ramirez 0 for 12 since joining the Pirates. One at bat closer to getting hot. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ramirez, Gunn, and Walker this inning facing Irvin Santana. Wind has changed direction too, John. I just happened to look out at the flags. Now it's going out to right. Sort of all over the place today. There's a ground ball to short. Escobar double pumps and throws to first again. Then there's one down. So I hope just a matter of time before he really gets it going here soon.
Well, he'll start hitting when we need him. Haven't needed him much. Bats have been going pretty good since Ramey's arrival.
Jung-Ho Kang's last swing last night ended up the game winner off of a very good closer, the American League save leader Glenn Perkins. He also has a home run against one of the other best save men in baseball, Trevor Rosenthal of the Cardinals. 0-2 quickly. Perkins last night a little disappointed. He's had a rough patch in July with 2 blown saves and a loss within 4 appearances.
I bet hopefully we won't see him this afternoon, but if we do, I almost bet that he won't throw another slide.
And Jung-Ho hits this one to left field. Jung-Ho and a bottle of rum. Back-to-back at bats for him with home runs, and the Pirates are on the board 1-0. Home run number 7 for Jung-Ho.
2 straight at bats. Jung-Ho goes deep. And Santana was being very careful with him, going slider, slider, slider. And then I think he tried to throw a piece of cheese by him. Went with the fastball.
Jung-Ho gets a bounce from Kutch in the receiving line. And now Neil Walker bounces this one down to first base. Mauer will pick it up, step on the bag, and that's a quick out. 2 down.
Pretty sure it's a fastball. Here you see slider away, or slider middle, slider away, a little further away. Then he tried to sneak 94 by him. I think he wanted it in off the plate, left it on the plate, and Jung-Ho showing off that short, quick swing. And when he gets barreled to it, no park will hold it.
The estimated distance on that one, 419 feet.
We talk so much about Lariano and how tough he is to hit. Santana, just 4 starts, small sample sizes, allowed a 196 batting average. Now that hit was just the 21st against him, and now his 5th start, but 5 of the 21 have left the ballpark.
0-1 to Pedro. That's low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, you go back to Santana's start against the Pirates last year while with the Braves. He gave up 3 solo home runs in that game, 1 to Walker and 2 to Starling Marte. He's given up 1 here today to Jung-Ho. And Pedro hits this one up in the air. Right center. Dozier way out, but the right fielder Rosario will call him off and make the catch. Pirates get a run on the long ball from Jung-Ho Kang. John Rodriguez shares the story of his family's journey from Cuba to America. Garrett Cole prevails against the cream of the crop. And there's much more on Inside Pirates Baseball, presented by Allegheny Health Network today after postgame on Root Sports. 1-0 Pirates in front on the UPMC scoreboard. We go to the bottom of the second inning. And the right fielder, Eddie Rosario, will lead off against Francisco Liriano. 7th home run for Jung Ho Kang. Rosario, 288 hitter. Played left field last night. It's this one in the air to left center. Back goes McCutchen. Hander to the wall. It is off the wall. Marte scrambling for it. Rosario heading for third. And he is in with a leadoff triple.
He's not a big guy, but he has some pop. First career homer was to the opposite field. And he gets a fastball up middle and just missed hitting it out of the ballpark.
Rosario had a leadoff triple in the 4th inning of last night's game, and he leads off the Twins' second here with another one.
Well, he went into the home run trot right away. He thought it was gone.
Triple number 5 for Rosario. Nobody out. And now Frankie's going to have to do some pitching to strand Rosario at third base. Eduardo Nunez playing third today. A little tapper to the right side. This will get the run in as Ishikawa tags out Nunez. Tie ball game. Nunez playing third base. Trevor Plouffe, the regular third baseman, went on paternity leave right after the game last night. So he is not here. He's with his wife, expecting the birth of a child. Nunez in there third as Rosario comes in to score the tying run. Batting now is Eduardo Escobar. Shortstop batting in the 7th spot. He hit 9th last night. Had a ground rule double in the 8th inning. That 4-run 8th. Watson gave up 5 straight hits, 3 singles and 2 doubles. It's 0-2 to Escobar. 1 out. Base is empty. A 1-1 game. Pat Hoberg calling the balls and strikes, and there is strike 3. And Escobar will give himself up on the drop third strike. And there are now 2 down.
You see the first 2 pitches up and outside corner, top of the zone, and then buries the slider. And we see it so often. Swings at pitches in the dirt.
Catcher Kurt Suzuki. Suzuki had a 2-run double last night. So foul back for strike 1. He has hit safely in 7 of his last 8 ball games at home. He was an all-star last year, 2014. He and Glenn Perkins, the closer, when the game was held here at Target Field. 1 ball and 1 strike to Suzuki. Swing and a miss, 1-2.
Set that changeup up nicely. Went in with the fastball. Sped him up.
One-two. Just inside.
That's where they tried to go. That's probably the one pitcher that Watson probably would want back. That was a fastball he threw into Suzuki in that 8th inning. He tried to get it in off the plate like that, left it on the plate. Able to lay off the off-speed pitch that time was Suzuki. But even 3-2 here. Francisco can throw any of his 3 pitches. Never know what's coming.
Cervelli looking for fastball, perhaps. That's what it was, and it's popped up to center. Andrew McCutchen, a long run in. He'll make the grab. Twins get a run on a hit, nobody left. At the end of 2, it's a 1-1 game.
The season. I'm Robbie. It's Mikowski. Before Target Field, the the Twins' home was the Metrodome. Before that, they played outdoor baseball at the old Met Stadium. It was the Twins' home from 1961 to 1981. And Clint Hurdle has quite a memory to tell from the old Metropolitan Stadium. Now, the last game was September 30th, 1981. The Royals played the Twins, and the Royals hit 2 home runs that day. The last came off the bat of Clint Hurdle, who holds the distinction of being the last guy to homer ever at an outdoor baseball game in Minnesota before Target Field. Now, Clint told me he remembers it being a day game, and Pete Mackanin was a Twins infielder, now the current Phillies manager, homered a few innings early and thought he was going to be the last. And as Clint rounded second base, Pete was playing right there at shortstop and gave him the business, yelled at him all the way to third because his name would not make the history books. Also playing in that day, how about this? Rick Sofield and Roy Smalley, the Twins TV analysts, played in that game, the last one ever, at the old Met, out by... Go ahead, Tim.
This is something you don't normally see. The hitter, Cervelli, asked for time, did not get it. And that was pretty early. We've seen it called a lot later than that, even though it's not supposed to be. But Cervelli basically gave up a strike there as Hoberg did not give him time.
Yeah, don't see that very often when you don't get time, especially with the catcher up there. I mean, they have pretty good relationships with the umpire.
2-1. And is in there for a strike. Yeah, Robbie, the guy to my right knows a little bit about closing down a stadium with a home run. John hitting the last home run at Three Rivers Stadium. And as Robbie told us, Clint Hurdle hitting the last home run at the old Met, which is now a mall.
Yeah, how about that?
Biggest mall that there is, I guess. Mall of America is right over the playing surface of the old Met. Down the right field line, it goes foul.
Cervelli always given good at bats. They're battling and sees his pitches, gets a mistake, hits it hard. Even when a good pitcher's pitch, even a pitch that's like, down and away, slap it through the right side, slap it up the middle.
Ball 4. So Cervelli earns his way aboard with a walk in front of Travis Ishikawa.
They're good at bat.
Francisco was on base 4 out of 5 times last night. He went 3 for 5. Should have been 4 for 5, but a base hit turned into a fielder's choice when Alvarez was forced out at second base. Line drive to right that Torrey Hunter pretended like he had a chance to catch. Pedro really stuck in no man's land at that point in time. Here's Ishikawa. Had 2 hits and an RBI last night. Swings at this pitch and pops it up foul. Playable for Nunez. 1 out. Gregory Polanco coming up. Gregory in the 8th inning cleared the bases with a double, went down to third on the throw. Late and close. Go ahead RBIs. Our Barrel Automotive National League leaders. He's up there. It's pretty good company with Todd Frazier of the Reds, Starlin Castro, Johnny Peralta of the Cardinals. Gregory with 6 of them.
Very impressive.
Polanco 0 for 1. Bauer made a diving stop on him in the first inning.
Polanco gets the first pitch changeup a bit out in front. I believe the first changeup of the afternoon from Santana.
Toss over to first and Cervelli back standing. Mariano looking on, looking for a win today, his 7th. He could get it. Santana coming off a very good outing against the Angels, 8 shutout innings. Pitching against his old team. And of course, Liriano pitching against his old team here today. And a ground ball slowly hit. Dozier will toss to Santana. He drops it. And heading to third is Cervelli. Heading to second is Polanco. Second and third and 1 out.
Hope to take advantage of this opportunity. Couldn't execute a play that the pitchers probably work on more than anything else. Gets by Mauer. Santana's there in plenty of time. I really didn't need the backhanded flip from Dozier. Dozier kind of rushed it a little bit. He had more time than that. And with the high flip, Santana having to reach, try to find the bag just over his head. Actually not over his head. Looked like he just whiffed on it.
Go ahead run at third. 2 men in scoring position for Starling Marte. And earlier I mentioned Marte had 2 home runs off of Santana in a game at PNC Park last August 18th. And it was the first time Marte has had a multi-homer game in which he has homered off the same pitcher. He's had multi-home run games before, but they've always been against either the starter and a reliever or another reliever. But he got Santana twice last August. Trying to get home Cervelli, give the Pirates the lead again.
You know Santana remembers that, and he's going to be very careful with Marte. I'd be surprised if Marte gets a fastball in the strike zone. He might get one shown to him. But he's going to get a steady dose of sliders here in this situation. Santana is going to look for a strikeout and try not to give him anything that he can lift in the air.
Good career numbers against Santana. Really good. Did he chase it? Yes, he did, says first base umpire David Rackley. 1-2. That's the thing with a slider. Being a right-handed hitter, it's tempting to try to go out there, isn't it?
Well, if you're going to, in my mind, I think Marte's geared up for a fastball, and that's where the aggression ends up hurting you against a guy like Santana, who's not going to give you a fastball to hit in this situation.
And Marte to left field, right at Shane Robinson. Cervelli tagging, and he has to stop. Robinson's throw right to the cutoff man. Ball is hit hard.
And Marte can't believe it that Cervelli wasn't sent home. It was a good decision. You got McCutchen on deck, and the ball got to him so quickly, and a good, strong, accurate throw from Robinson. I think if Cervelli continues, he's out. He's out by a good bit. That was a good, strong, accurate throw. And Marte hits it hard. A hanging slider. He's still upset about it. Cervelli doesn't have your wheels, Starling.
Well, they will walk Andrew McCutchen to get to Aramis Ramirez with first base open and 2 out. And now would be the first time, or a good time, for the first hit in 2015 for Ramirez as a Pirate.
How about Andrew McCutchen? This is only the 5th time all year that he's been intentionally walked. They decided to come at McCutchen most of these situations, but not here. And this is where I think Aramis Ramirez, he will show his value in these situations. This guy's a veteran that has done nothing but drive in runs. He knows what pitchers are trying to do, how they're going to attack. You don't get upwards of 1,400 RBIs on accident. Ramirez, we'll see how locked in he gets here. My guess, he knows he's not going to get a good fastball down the hit. He's not going to down the middle. He's not going to get challenged. Santana will probably try to get him on the slider as well.
Strike call, late strike call by Pat Hoberg.
And Ramirez thought it was away. 95, good location if you're Santana. That's perfect location. There's 96 miles an hour.
Ramirez a ground ball to second. Dozier will throw on to first, and the Pirates will leave him loaded. After 2.5, still a 1-1 game. The Twins won for the Pirates and won a home run by Jung Ho Gun. Leading off will be the number 9 hitter, Shane Robinson, for the Twins. 9-1-2 to face Liriano. Pirates had a chance with the bases loaded. And came up empty in the third. 246 the average. Marte hit the ball right on the nose to Robinson in left field. Might have hit it too hard. Pirates were not able to tag Cervelli from third.
You know, even though Ramirez unable to come through in that situation, you know, I like the approach. I mean, he gets the borderline strike call. He falls behind 0-1, and you could tell he was sitting all over that slider away. And that's why he's been so successful driving in runs. He was on the ball, looking for it, put a pretty good swing on it, hit it right at him. You know, not over anxious.
2-1 to Shane Robinson.
You know, most guys that get righties that'll see a slider down the way, they're usually pulling off and hooking it, hitting it off the end of the bat or swinging through it. I mean, he stayed inside it, tried to go the other way, just got on top.
Another strike. 2-2. Robinson spent 5 seasons with the Cardinals prior to coming to Minnesota. Ground ball to first. Ishikawa's got it, and there's one out. Let's take a look at today's Allegheny Health Network injury update. Outfielder Gorkis Hernandez rehab assignment is about a week old. He had 2 hits last night to raise his average to 294. He scored twice, driven in a run. Gorkis went on the DL before the All-Star break with an impingement in his left shoulder and is eligible to come off the disabled list anytime now. Back to the top of the order, Brian Dozier. He flied out to Marte and left in the first inning. He hits one high and deep to left. Back goes Marte to the track, and this one off the top of the wall. And Dozier will be in with a 1-out double.
If the sun played a role in that ball right there with Marte, maybe the sun and the wind, is the way he went after it. They kind of looked like he was turned around a couple of times, you know, looking up, just kind of coasting. He had room to go back there and leap. I mean, he's tall enough, and you know, it's not like that's a 12-foot wall, probably about an 8-foot wall. If he's able to get back to the wall, you jump and perhaps make a great catch. But it just looked like the way he went after it, the route, it just almost like he was searching for the ball.
1-out runner at second base for Aaron Hicks. And the ball here at Target Field, in those areas where there is a flower bed, ball has to go into the flower bed, but he hit it just to the right of where the flowers are, off the top of the padded wall. And in that instance there, it would have to go over the middle railing. Good thing it didn't take a funny bounce like Marte's did at Kansas City.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of weird how that's situated. I mean, you got the brush in front of the railing, but yet to the right of the bushes or flowers or wherever they are, there's still a railing, but no bushes. And then further over, you got bushes. Like there's no bushes, so it has to go over the railing there in between the bushes, but it only has to go into the bushes and not the railing on the right and left of that. That doesn't make sense. So on the right of that, all it has to do is go over the padding, but if it goes in the bushes, it's a homer. That's strange.
Two-one pitch. And that's a base hit. And they're going to send Dozier. Throw goes to second base, and Hicks is safe. It's 2-1 Minnesota. Back-to-back doubles And the Twins have their first lead.
I'd be surprised if they give that a double. Probably a single and an error. You'd have to think. They wouldn't even have sent Dozier if Marte doesn't bobble the ball. If Marte comes up clean, I think Dozier's staying put. So, I mean, they may give him an RBI. I doubt they'll give him a double. But if Marte with Dozier going back to the bag on the line drive, he just comes up and fires it towards the infield. I think they're holding Dozier at third.
They have not posted an error yet. Dozier all the way. Never slowed down. You got the windmill home. And it will be scored a double and an RBI.
Of course. Because he would have definitely got the second if Marte came up with that clean. No question about it. That's ridiculous.
That's probably a geography lesson in baseball scoring. You remember where you are.
Oh, it's common sense. If you're an official scorer, I mean, unless it's your first time doing it and you want to raffle to be the official scorer of the day, you don't get a double on a lazy line drive to the left fielder that he drops.
You selling tickets to that raffle?
How is that a double? I mean, it's a bang bang play after he bobbles it, has to turn around, pick it up, and throw it into second base. It's ridiculous. It's nowhere. It's not a double. Now again, I will give them the RBI because Dozier didn't stop, but he was only waived because Marte dropped the ball. Marte got to that ball before Dozier got to third base.
Stu Thornley is the official scorer here, in case you want to know, John. Here comes the 2-2. Ground ball to third base. Ramirez up with it. Throws out Mauer. 2 men out for the Twins in the third. Ramirez, the infield assist there, keeping the runner at second base. With 2 outs, Liriano will face the designated hitter Miguel Sano. .281 is his batting average. And right field, a base hit. Kicks around third. Polanco's throw comes out of the cutoff, and they've got Sano hung up. Ishikawa will give it to Walker, who will chase him over to John Ho on the tag out, but Twins will get a run out of it. An RBI single for Miguel Sano. It's now a 3-1 Twins lead.
Sports is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network. Health for all. By Kenny Ross. Just ask a neighbor. And by Levin Mattress, located in all Levin furniture showrooms and freestanding stores. Let's go Bucks!
Pirates have some work to do. Down a couple of runs as we start the fourth inning. 2-run bottom of the third. Alex Hicks, credit for a double and an RBI, and he would score on a base hit by Sano. And Brian Dozier with a double as well and a run scored. Jung-Ho Kang with a home run. He's 1 for 1. Point Park University tweets at the bottom of your screen reacting to Jung-Ho's home run in the second inning. 1-0 to Jung-Ho. Urban Santana's wind and the pitch. In for a strike, 1-1.
Now I wonder if Jung-Ho's going to see another fastball. Turned it around there back in the second. There's that borderline strike by Santana, just appearing to catch the edge.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, they have changed the scoring on the Hicks double to a base hit and an error on Starling Marte in left field. So somebody won the raffle.
Common sense prevails.
Three-2 pitch to Jung-Ho. To the shortstop, charging Escobar, throwing on the run. He got it. One down for the Pirates in the fourth.
Second baseman, Milwaukee.
He ended up throwing him a couple fastballs, but staying away from Jung-Ho. Santana, that's the only hit he's allowed, by the way, the solo shot from Kang.
Walker will take strike one. Neal is 0 for 1. He grounded out to Joe Mauer at first base in the second inning. .270 is average. 9 homers. 5 of those 9 have come this month. And a good month of July.
Walker sees a change up after the two-seam fastball on the outside edge. Now Twins will put on the shift, put 3 guys to the right side of second base.
Walker's hit safely in back-to-back games. To give you an idea how he's done in July, he's been consistent. He's hit safely in 24 of his last 27. One-two, ripped to right. That's to the corner. Rounding first is Walker, and he's hustling for second base. He's going to have to hustle. Throw comes in a little wide, and Neal slides safely. It looked like he almost blew a tire going around first, too. But it's a double for Walker with 1 out. And the Pirates with a man in scoring position for Pedro Alvarez.
Santana throws more changeups and sliders to lefties, and this is why. That's the little slider. You leave a slider, right around knee high, inner half of the place to a left-handed hitter, they're most times going to hit it hard. That's kind of just served up to Neal. Not a good 2-strike pitch, and Neal takes advantage.
Walker's hitting 3 straight. Double number 24. He's among the league leaders in doubles. There's 1 behind Andrew McCutchen, who has 25. Nolan Arenado of Colorado. Anthony Rizzo of Chicago also at 25. Todd Frazier of the Reds is the National League leader in doubles with 30. Down to first base. And Mauer will take it himself. Walker advancing to third on the play. 2 outs. There's still a chance for the Pirates to get one back. Have you ever wanted to be a major leaguer? Now's your chance. Reserve your spot today for the Pirates Fantasy Camp weekend at PNC Park coming up September 18th and 19th. Your team will be captained by a former Pirates player, and you'll get your own authentic uniform and play all of your games right on the field at PNC Park. For more information on how to reserve your spot to Fantasy Camp weekend, call 1-800-BUY-BUCKS. You can't go to Fantasy Camp in Florida for that week's time. How about Fantasy Camp weekend in September at PNC Park? Cervelli, a bouncer to short, and Escobar throws him out. 3 ground balls and a double in the inning. Man left after 3.5, a 3-1 Twins lead. Polanco didn't come out of the dugout. Not really sure what the situation is yet with Polanco. We'll try to find out for you, but Decker has taken over in right field as we start the home half of the 4th inning at Target Field.
I have to assume it had to do something with that ground ball he hit back in the 3rd. Nothing has gone his way defensively in the bottom of the 3rd. I guess, except for I guess there was the base hit by Sano that he came up firing towards home in the bottom of the 3rd from Polanco, but he looked fine coming up and throwing. Hopefully nothing serious.
Well, Liriano will climb back up on top of the hill. He'll face Eddie Rosario, the right fielder for Minnesota. Rosario tripled to lead off the 2nd inning and would come around and score the tying run at that point in time. Pirates were up 1-0 then. 2 more runs in the bottom of the 3rd inning on a double by Dozier and a single by Hicks and another base hit by Sano, giving the Twins a 3-1 lead. This one popped up, heading toward foul ground is Walker. He won't get it. Falls in the Bermuda Triangle. Now, Pirates right fielder Gregory Polanco not out there, and this might be why. Take a look at him going around first base. Looks a little gingerly walking right there, a little skip. Something might not be right.
Something in the left that looked like maybe left quad.
Trying to get that one figured out. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now It's 1-2. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom of the 4th inning, and the pitch to Rosario is lifted into center field. McCutcheon, a couple of steps back, will make the catch. One down for Minnesota. Rosario is 1 for 2. Now Eduardo Nunez. He got Rosario home in the 2nd inning with a ground ball to first base. Rosario was at third. Just took off on contact and got home easily. Pirates ended up taking the out. .275 the average for Nunez. 2 balls and no strikes. Nunez batting right-handed. And the pitch. Fouled on the right field side. Two balls and a strike. Nunez, along with Danny Santana and Eduardo Escobar, sharing the infield duties in the middle, sometimes on the left side where Nunez is today. He has played shortstop, third, outfield, and second base. Two. Slapper on the ground. Jung Ho behind it. Throws strongly to first to get him. Well, some good news for the Pirates organization as one of their prized pitching prospects is being promoted. Tyler Glasnow. 8 starts since returning from the disabled list is 3-2. Opponents hitting 169. He'll make his AAA debut Saturday for the Indianapolis Indians. He has struck out 22 in 12 innings over his last 2 starts.
Dominating. 169 opponent's batting average.
Eduardo Escobar lines one into left field for a base hit.
You wish him good health and success in AAA, and it makes you wonder when you're one level away, a guy like that, and you're in a playoff race. It makes you wonder, Tyler Glasnow, if we don't see him at some point in time, does he become a part of the pennant race?
I know you commenting even down in Florida, saw him for the first time in Major League camp, how impressed you were with Glasnow and just the stuff he's got.
Oh, it's different. It's different. And that's what's neat about spring training, getting an opportunity to see the young pitchers, young position players, putting eyes on them for the first time. And most of them look the same, and some look different.
Kurt Suzuki takes inside. Word on Gregory Polanco, removed from the game due to discomfort in his left knee. He's being treated and evaluated, and get some more information on Gregory as it becomes available. But right now it's discomfort in his left knee. It's the initial word from the Bucs clubhouse.
And hopefully nothing serious, obviously, and hopefully just precautionary.
Two men out and a 1-1 pitch to Suzuki from Liriano. Spins him out of the way.
94 miles per hour. I think we've seen more of that this year than the last couple from Liriano. He throws that fastball in off the plate much more often than he did the last couple years, which I think makes his changeup and slider that much better.
And would chase that one. 2-2.
I mean, you could sit there and say to Suzuki that, you know, every time he throws a fastball in, he's going to come back with a changeup. And you can have that knowledge in the batter's box, and you're not going to trust that knowledge because, you know, the velocity gets on you so much. It's hard to not think about getting to the fastball.
Throw to first base, and back easily is Escobar. Escobar 1 for 2 after his 2-out base hit this inning. Here comes the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch. We'll get another one.
And that time the slider just getting a piece.
Liriano, the all-time leader in strikeouts at Target Field. He has 2 here today, so his total at Target Field 260. He also has 14 career wins here. Three and 2. A couple of current Twins have passed him on the wins list at this ballpark. Brian Dunson with 20, Phil Hughes with 16. Shane Robinson in the on-deck circle for the Twins.
Goes to show you some of the pitching problems they've had here in Minnesota since Liriano left.
Runner goes, and this ball is hit in the air to center. On the run, McCutchen. Still on the run. He will make the catch up against the wall. Andrew McCutchen had to go a long way to get that one off the bat of Kurt Suzuki. And at the end of 4, the score remains 3-1 Minnesota. As Andrew McCutchen got on his horse and flags it down.
Can't teach speed.
For the Bucks, each team with an error. Kurt Suzuki hit that one a long way, and it carried and carried and carried, but ended up carrying right into the glove of Andrew McCutchen.
Yeah. Again, hard to tell if the wind had anything to do with it, but you're talking 411 feet out there. But if it stays in the park and it has that much air time, a good chance that Andrew McCutchen's going to run it down.
Allegheny Health Network Supermo slowing it down for us, giving us a good look at the catch by Kutch. And the wind has died down a little bit looking at those flags. And it has changed direction a couple of times during the course of the game. Those flags are good indicators. It blows right in from the plaza. And was blowing straight in from right field last inning. 0-2 to Travis Ishikawa. Popped out foul to the third baseman Nunez in the third inning. the dirt. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Hurdle said he'd been to this ballpark a few times before coming back with the Pirates. Of course, with the Texas Rangers as the hitting coach, they had come in. And he'd been in before that. Hurdle said he really likes this ballpark a lot. A lot to like about it. 2-2. Ishikawa down on strikes. 1 out in the Pirates half of the 5th. We want to see your strongest fan photo. Use the hashtag #PittDataStrongFan. And you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast brought to you by T-Mobile. Again, the hashtag #PittDataStrongFan. Looking forward to seeing what photo we have to show later in the game. Could be yours. The Pirates fans in gold really stand out here in Minnesota among the blue and red. Well, Jeff Decker's first plate appearance replaced Gregory Polanco, who left with left knee discomfort. Easy to find out. Decker hitting 111. Decker had a great at bat last night in the 8th inning. He drew a walk with 2 outs, facing Brian Dunson. And Polanco came up behind him and cleared the bases with a double. Went down to third when Decker scored all the way from first base. The throw came all the way through, and that allowed Polanco to get to third base. Decker hustled in a head-first slide, beat the throw.
Fan. Walker jersey, souvenir.
He said, "I was just trying to protect you." It's always a good thing to say. Ground ball toward the middle, slowed down by Santana. Dozier ends up throwing him out. That ball doesn't hit Santana. That's a base hit.
Yeah, good at bat again. A hard hit ball. And that's headed into center field for sure. And bad luck for Jeff Decker. I think it may be that one slot in the order. We've talked about Polanco and the bad luck he's hit into. Well, Jeff Decker, same thing. It just so happened Santana falls off on that side, and it was right at him.
Santana retires the first 2 men this inning. Marte a swing and a miss. Starling is 0 for 2. He hit the ball right on the screws in the 3rd inning, but lined out to left field with Cervelli at third base, and it was hit so hard and so low that they weren't going to get Cervelli home on the tag up. Marte, no balls, 2 strikes. Rick Sofield held up Cervelli, and that proved to be the right call at that time. Flare to right field. That ball will drop in for a hit. Marte with a 2-out single.
I'm guessing that's the opposite of what Santana expects. He comes at Marte with 2 fastballs, 2 four-seam fastballs at 95 and 94 miles per hour, and gets swings and misses. Then figures he's going to finish him off with the slider. But Marte comes up empty on the fastball and ends up hitting the slider.
McCutchen up next. He was intentionally walked in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for his last 8. Struck out in the 1st. 0 for 5 last night. He represents the tying run. McCutchen hit his first career home run in this city, not in this ballpark, but in the Metrodome. June 18th, 2009. He hit his first, and it was off his current teammate, Francisco Liriano. Want to know to Kutch. 1 ball, no strike pitch. Throw to first. And Marte gets back. No matter who you talk to around here, nobody misses the Metrodome.
No. Why would you?
It's funny because that's what they have to compare it to most recently. And while it served the city well as a football stadium for a while, baseball it was a bit of a tough watch inside there.
Loud, though. That's the one thing about that place. Very, very loud. I can't imagine a football game at that place, you know, when the offense is and they're calling out signs, how you can hear anything.
World Series in '87 and '91 played inside the Metrodome.
And literally, you don't have to wear earplugs. I have to imagine, you know, if in baseball, you know, crowd noise isn't that big a deal. You don't have to verbally communicate all that often in baseball, and it's usually pitcher versus batter, and it's concentration, and you can kind of block out the noise. But still, I mean, it almost would have to make your ears ring as loud as that place got.
Well, Santana alternating pitches and throws to first. Ball and 2 strikes. There goes Marte. Throw down by Suzuki, not in time, on a stolen base. That's number 20 for Starling Marte.
And I think a good thing that Suzuki couldn't get a hold of that ball. He had the double clutch. I was impressed with how close he made this look after coming out. The double pump, usually a catcher double pumps, you might as well eat it. But after making the throw, still pretty close.
Two pitch. And McCutchen belts this one deep to left field. Way back and gone. McCutchen ties the game with a 2-run shot here in the 5th inning. Home run number 14 for Andrew.
That's what makes him so great. You know, you just never know. That's why he's so great. He hasn't looked good this entire series. He's been off a little bit. He's already in this at bat. Swung through a fastball at 92. Chased the slider. Gets the count to 2-2. You make a mistake and he makes you pay. A breaking ball. Look where it is. Pretty close to the same pitch he hit out at the All-Star game. A slider hanging down the middle, and that's you cannot afford to make. Even when Andrew McCutchen is struggling, you can't afford to make a mistake in that particular place. He will make you pay.
Right in the wheelhouse. That ball gone. Here's Ramirez, and Aramis hits one up in the air to right field, and the right fielder could not find it. And Ramirez will head to second base. Rosario lost the baseball. He started heading one direction. The baseball went another. And
give me the ball.
His first hit for the Pirates in 2015. As Aramis Ramirez now 1 for 3.
Yeah, again, I'm guessing wind. It doesn't make any sense that it would be the sun. Just the swirling winds. Rosario went up, got his body turned in the wrong direction. Ramirez just thinks it's a routine out, and then whoa, wait a minute, I'll take
it. Finally, he said, after going 0 for 14. Jung Ho takes outside. These guys wanted me. They traded for me. I go 0 for 14. And finally, he gets perhaps a Mother Nature aided double. Jung Ho Kang homered back in the 2nd inning. He's 1 for 2.
Got a fastball up out over. Looked like Jung Ho was just taking.
Santana ready to deliver the 1-1 on the corner. Ball and 2 strikes. Andrew McCutchen going yard, his first hit of this series.
Team we don't play very often, the Minnesota Twins, his first and last home runs here in Minnesota.
94 hits during interleague play since 2012. That's second in the majors, only to Mike Trout, who has 95, just one more. That's saying something. Mike Trout, Andrew McCutchen, most hits in interleague play since 2012. Out of anybody in baseball. He is the Pirates' all-time leader in interleague hits with 136. 71 RBIs in interleague play for Kutch. Runner at second, 2 out. 2-2 pitch coming to Jung Ho. 3-3 ball game in Minneapolis. As soon as this game is over, the Pirates will jet over to Cincinnati and begin a 4-game series tomorrow with the Reds. Should be an interesting weekend in Cincinnati with a trading deadline looming. Jung-ho down on strikes. Pirates get 2 runs on 3 hits. Andrew McCutchen going deep for the 14th time this year as he hammers this one out of here. 3-3.
Run. It was in the top of the 3rd inning, June 17, 2009. His first career home run. That was 141 home runs ago before the one we just saw last inning. Andrew McCutchen, I asked him about that home run and what he remembers. He said, well, he probably was thinking that Francisco Liriano was thinking, hey, I'm just a rookie. Come up and just keep throwing fastballs at me. But get this. He said he didn't even know it was a home run until he got to second base. He thought it was a ground rule double. He didn't even know he hit his first career home run. I said, well, did you get the ball back? I said, yeah. I said, well, where is it? It's somewhere. It's somewhere amongst a bunch of stuff. I don't know where. But good memory for Andrew McCutchen, about a mile from Target Field in the Metrodome.
Yeah, I'll bet it's with some stuff. He's got a lot of things that are collectibles now. The Point Park University tweets at the bottom of your screen about his latest long ball to the same part of the yard as it was in 2009 on the 17th of June. Game-tying home run. Shane Robinson takes on. 3 balls and a strike to the left fielder.
9th hitter. Yeah, the big hit from McCutchen. It's a new ball game. You want to really come out here in the bottom half and have a shutdown inning.
And a strike. That'll fill up the count. Robinson bounced out to Ishikawa at first base in the third inning. 0 for 1. Payoff pitch. From McCutcheon in a mini slump. Great way to break out of it. And as you mentioned, you just never know when that's going to happen.
You just can't make mistakes then. Not like that.
In the air to left field, and Marte drifting back, and he will not get it. McCutcheon plays the count, and Robinson in safely at second base. Well, that looked like a ball Marte could get to, and it landed just to the right of where his glove was and came off the padding.
It looked like he was a little tied up. I didn't think he hit it all that well, and then Marte feeling the wall, sensing the wall coming up on him. Where he jumped up against the wall, that really wasn't where the ball was hit. And again, maybe the wind playing tricks. Robinson maybe thinking when that ball left his bat that maybe he had his first homer of the year.
Leadoff man in scoring position. Dozier tries to bunt. Go-ahead run for the Twins is out there at second base. Dozier at the plate. Whatever it is in the outfield today is, or on this area of town, giving the outfielders a hard time. Tries to bunt, bunts a foul. Twins trying to get a man to third base with less than 2 outs. Molitor trying to play some small ball, manufacture a run now after that leadoff double. He struck him out. He's got to tag him. Another strikeout for Liriano, and there's 1 out. Fans, you can save big on Pirates baseball this season with the Port Authority Connect card. Save up to $10 per ticket to Sunday through Thursday Pirates games. Get $10 off on lower outfield box and outfield box tickets. And save $6 per ticket on outfield reserve and grandstand seats. For tickets, go to pirates.com/connect card.
I'm trying to figure out that last at bat. What a terrible bat from Brian Dozier. I mean, he's the home run leader. He's the RBI leader. He doesn't have a sacrifice hit all year. What was he doing? That's a break for the Pirates there, but that's a guy that's capable of turning the game around, putting them back on top, or you can hit a ball to the right side and advance the runner. Boy, he just gave the bat away. Francisco Liriano and the Pirates a favor. That was bizarre.
Dozier has some time to contemplate it as well. Hicks off the glove of Ramirez. And that is going to hold Robinson at second base. As Hicks is safe at first. And Robinson unable to go anywhere.
Man, this guy's on fire. Hicks doing nothing but hitting the ball all over the field with authority. Ramirez playing even with the bag. Just can't react quickly enough to get the ball in the pocket, but acts quickly enough to get a piece of it, keep it in the infield, keep it at first and second, and hopefully get a ground ball here from Mount.
He hit into a double play last night. Trevor Plouffe hit into 2 of them last night. Pirates baseball with 118 double plays. First and second, one out. Here comes the 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. So Frankie falling behind Mauer. I think Mauer would know Liriano pretty well, having caught him for so many games while with the Twins. Missed inside. And now Liriano dangerously close to loading the bases. Mauer awaiting his 3-0 pitch. It's a strike.
And you get the impression, like, Paul Molitor, Twins manager, probably wants Mauer to swing the bat 3-0, but he's like, you know, the patient type hitter that isn't afraid of hitting with 2 strikes, and you just get the feeling that he doesn't want to hit 3-0, Joe Mauer. He'd rather make the pitcher throw a couple more pitches. It doesn't matter the count to him.
To the right side, Ishikawa backs up, goes to second for 1. They're going to go back to third base, and they've got Robinson hung up between third and home.
Oh, get rid of it.
And Cervelli didn't throw it. Oh, they had him at third base. Jung Ho was standing there, and for some reason, Cervelli decided not to throw it.
I really hope this doesn't cost the Pirates here. You know, the idea of a rundown, anytime you get a guy in a rundown, you want to get the runner going as fast as he can. You want that runner to pick up speed. Now, Ramirez gives it up because of how far Robinson got away from third base, but Robinson was almost stopped. So as soon as Aramis gave up the ball, it didn't take any time for Robinson to go in the other direction. And so with the change of direction, Jung Ho was a little bit late getting over to third because he was covering second base. Cervelli thought it was best just to eat it.
2 outs, first and third. Miguel Sano takes strike 1. Sano with an RBI base hit in the third. He did strike out looking back in the first. His RBI single, he ended up going around first too much, got in a run down, and that allowed Hicks, who was on base in front of him, to score. And he would be tagged out for the final out of the Twins' third. Strike 2.
Yeah, that's 2 pretty good pitches right there. Sano doesn't like it. Now you're in a pretty good position if you're Liriano. You throw the slider right on the corner. You get the late tail on the 2-seam fastball right on the corner. Now you got pitches to waste. It goes soft away.
Blocked by Cervelli. Well, Cervelli knows when he catches Liriano, he's going to be playing in the sandbox.
Yeah. That was one of those sliders. Tom's coming out as Liriano just goes down, and I think just because he lost his footing, but I think Todd just saw him go down and kind of looking down and maybe thought something happened to Liriano, but Frankie says, I'm fine, just lost my footing.
Tomczyk, Clint Hurdle back to the dugout. 2 balls, or rather 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. 1-2 count in on Miguel Sano. 3-3 ball game. Go ahead runs at third. 1-2 inside, and Cervelli gave Mauer a look down at first base, then thought better of it. Shane Robinson back to third.
Yeah, one of those where, you know, as a base runner, you see the ball in the dirt and you're anticipating the ball kicking away to advance, but Cervelli catches this one fairly clean. As it comes up, he catches it between his chest protector and his arm. And thought maybe he can get Mauer leaning.
Sano down the left field side. That's a foul ball. Just hooked enough.
That's a ball that's hard to keep fair. The pitch was so far off the plate inside. And if he gets the barrel to it, chances are it's way foul, but he got tied up. And when you get jammed on a pitch that's inside, it stays straight. You see the ball off the plate. And so with the Fister, fortunately, it stays just outside the line. Surprised Liriano's not thrown nothing to him away. In particular, the changeup. It may have something to do with Sano. His last time up, hit a ball away in the right field for a base hit.
Now the count is full.
Sano showing pretty good patience, not chasing. Still don't think Liriano comes at him with a fastball. As Rosario waits on deck.
And the payoff, Mauer goes, and a ground ball to third base. Ramirez gathers it in, fires on to first. Nothing across, following the leadoff double to Shane Robinson. Allegheny Health Network Super Bowl. Some great shots. Andrew McCutchen, a pretty good shot, a 2-run home run in the 5th. And a tie game as we go to the top of the 6th inning. Neil Walker leads off and ropes a bullet to right field. His second hit of the afternoon. Melvin Santana giving up the hit to Walker. Pirates now with 6 hits.
Just the second single allowed by Santana. A couple of doubles, a couple of bombs.
Pedro Alvarez up. He's hoping to hit one of those. DH today. He's 0 for 2. This, by the way, is the last interleague game of the regular season. And a great stop by Mauer. Goes to second for one. Back to first. Pedro safe. But Mauer taking a hit away from Alvarez and turns it into an out at second.
That's a great time to hit. You know, as a left-handed batter, when you got a runner on first and you have that giant hole over there, all you got to do is hit a ball decently to the right side, and more times than not, it's a base hit. It's a first and third situation. Joe Mauer just quickly falling to his right. A nice pick. Very nice pick. Good feed. Not a great throw coming back. Shortstop Escobar just lobbing it. If he puts something on it, might get the double play. Yep, that gets through. It's first and third, nobody out. Pirates are in business.
Francisco Cervelli facing Santana. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Alvarez off first. He drove the potential go-ahead run. And Cervelli to the gap in right center field. That ball's going to roll and go all the way to the wall. Alvarez hustling. He will be held at third base, and into second with a double is Cervelli.
Yeah, that was a good job. Rosario able to get over there. If that ball does get to the wall, it looked like it was going that way. The ball held up a bit out there, and Rosario ends up coming up, fires it in, and because he got to it before it gets to the warning track, Rick Sofield has to hold Alvarez up at third.
Yeah, this is a really good job by Rosario. That ball looked like it had enough to get to the wall.
Not a great job of throwing it in. Yeah, he missed everybody. He missed the cutoff men and just kind of threw it, I guess, trying to throw the ball towards second base. But the guys were lined up for home.
Travis Ishikawa with an RBI chance. Infield drawn in. You get one out, second and third. A lot of room out there for Ishikawa. Travis, a pair of hits last night, including a run batted in. He has 7 on the season. And the pitch inside. 3 runs on 7 hits for the Pirates. 3 runs on 8 hits for Minnesota. Two and one.
Tie game. Ishikawa, the infield has come in. It doesn't need to come all the way in. They know there's not great speed at third base, so they're just giving themselves a little more range. They're a few steps back than you'll see sometimes, but it's because they know they'll have time.
Well, kicks away. Here comes Alvarez, and the Pirates in front. 4-3 Pittsburgh as Alvarez comes in on the wild pitch.
And what we've seen from Irvin Santana is when there are runners in scoring position, he likes to go soft. He doesn't want to challenge guys with the fastball. He wants to get chases. And when you try to get chases, sometimes you bounce it. And when you bounce it, it'll get by the catcher now and again. And so that ball skips by Suzuki. Heads towards the Pirates dugout. Alvarez can just trot on home. And still a runner at third.
Ishikawa takes inside, and that's ball 4. Now runners at the corners.
That's one of those where Suzuki just slides over, gets down only on one knee, doesn't get his glove all the way down. We saw that actually in the bottom of the 5th, the ball that Liriano threw in the dirt to Sano. He didn't get his glove down, but it came up and hit his glove. That time Suzuki doesn't get his glove down. The ball stays down, kicks off the shin guard.
Jeff Decker fouls this one back. Decker's 0 for 1.
Pretty good cut there from Decker. And runner at third. Less than 2 outs. Look for a ball up. A ball up is easier to get out of the infield than a ball down. Good cut at it, but just a bit underneath.
Lays off that pitch, and it's 1-1.
That's another, Santana going soft. Throw a lefty a slider. Down and in. And a big hole on the right side. That's a dangerous pitch.
2-1. Paul Walder Had made the call to the pen. They've got some action now.
What are you going to do now?
Blaine Boyer, right-hander, warming up. Two and one to Decker. 3-1.
And now you almost have to think Decker gets fastball. If he doesn't get a fastball, he's probably going to get something off speed for a strike. And if he throws something off speed for a strike again, that opens up that hole on the right side.
Ball four. And the bases are full of Bucks. One out, and Starling Marte coming up. Back-to-back walks issued by Irvin Santana. Kurt Suzuki, a slow stroll out to the mound. Buying a little time. Neil Allen, pitching coach, will come out. Santana in a little bit of a jam right now with the bases full, and the guy who hits him well, Marte, up. Pretty warm out there today. He's getting late in his outing. He's sitting on 99 pitches.
And just making sure their guy in the bullpen's ready. And good chance that Marte's his last hitter.
Well, Marte with the bases full. Gets a pitch outside, ball one.
And again, they go with the infield, not quite a double play depth, playing in. They feel like if a ball's hit softly, they'll come home and get the force. If it's something hit firm, and it takes one of the middle infielders towards second base, they'll get two, or try to get two. But they know with Marte's speed, they can't afford to play all the way back, because if he doesn't hit a rocket at somebody, good chance you're not going to double him up.
1 ball, 1 strike to Marte. And the pitch outside, 2-1. Starling had a base hit in the 5th, scored a run, came home on McCutchen's home run. Pirates have gone ahead this inning, 4-3. Cervelli at third, Ishikawa at second, Decker over at first. And the 2-1. 3-1. And Santana a pitch away from walking in a run. And McCutchen lurking. Santana's 3-1 pitch is swung on, and now the count full. There's that one fouled into the Pirate dugout.
Yeah, up to 95 still with 104 pitches, but it's ball 4. Look how far out of the zone this one is. That's kind of a hard one to swing at unless you're predetermined to swing. When you see a fastball down around the ankles, normally if you're up there just looking for something, you're not going to swing. If you're guessing, you'll chase.
Marte hits this one into left center field. And Robinson over, and he will make the catch. Tagging from third is Cervelli. He'll score. It is 5-3 Pirates. Sacrifice fly and an RBI for Marte.
Yeah, again, he goes down out of the zone, does Marte. But productive out. He wants an RBI. He wants multiple RBIs. He doesn't want the walk, and goes down after another one at 95. But strength of Marte, even off the end of the bat, gets it far enough out there.
Starling with RBI number 53. Andrew McCutchen, a chance with 2 on and 2 out. Saw what he did with 2 outs in the 5th inning. Put it into the seats. Runners off first and second. The 1-0 is hit toward right field. That's down for a hit. It gets past Rosario. Ishikawa will score. Decker is waved home. McCutchen flying toward third base, and he is in safely. 2 more runs come in, and the ball gets away, and now McCutchen colliding with Nunez, and McCutchen's going to score. He will be given home, so 3 runs come in, and the Pirates lead it 8-3.
About that Little League home run. He hit a big league homer last inning, hits a Little League homer here in the 6th inning. And it goes to show you just how one pitch, one swing can kind of turn you around and get you back on track. McCutchen not comfortable until the 5th, hits the home run. Now he goes with the pitch down and away, goes with it the other way. You see they're so smooth. The hands go back nice and slow. He gets in position to hit early. Rosario, on the other hand, not a very good approach to that one. As he comes over and just whiffs on it, the ball comes up.
And here's what happened at third base. Nunez, he'll get charged for an error there, then they collide, and the ball went out of play, so McCutchen gets home. So it's a base hit, 1 RBI, error on the right fielder, error on the third baseman, and Santana's afternoon is done. Tim Neverett. Not a lot of handshaking going on in the Twins dugout right now. Vinny and Paul out there in the outfield, and here was Ramos Ramirez, who doubled his last time up. Blaine Boyer taking over for Irvin Santana.
A couple guys we didn't face last night. 2-4, 2.81 ERA. Another guy that just doesn't strike out. They do not strike out many batters, these Twins pitchers.
Ramirez 0-2 the count. 238. Ramirez was relieved when that double fell in for him in right field in the 5th. Taps one toward third. Nunez will grab it and throws him out. Pirates put 4 up. Big inning for the Bucks in the 6th.
is brought to you by the Chevy Trax and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're gonna make your day. Let's go Bucks!
Here's our Day Automotive. This day in Pirates history. This date in 2000. The Pirates beat the Padres 10-2. Brian Giles had a big day for the Bucks. 5 for 5 with 2 doubles, 2 runs, and 2 runs batted in. Neil Brown and Warren Morris each homered as the Bucks pounded out 16 hits on the day. Here is Eddie Rosario, who made the first error on the McCutchen play in the 6th. So as I said, going to break, 4 runs in, plus the other one that I missed, so 5 runs were in. McCutchen with the little leaguer. Walker had a hit, Cervelli had a hit, and McCutchen a base hit, his second hit of the game.
Don't get comfortable.
Well, last night should be a lesson. Pirates had a 4-run lead in the 8th and saw the lead go away.
And just like in about 15 pitches, it went away.
There's a ground ball to Jung Ho. Rosario is out. Last night's game a little crazy. Let's take a look at the win probability. Now, after Polanco hits the 3-run double in the 8th, 95% chance they're going to win. That drops down to 75% after Suzuki's 2-run double. Then Escobar hits the ground rule double. It drops down to less than 50% the Pirates were going to win. And then Jung Ho hits the home run. It goes up. And then the last play of the game, Trevor Plouffe grounding into his second double play of the game. Then it was 100%. Tony Watson, a rare misstep last night. That ball is blooped into center field off the bat of Eduardo Nunez. 1 for 3 now for him.
Something about these Twins against Liriano. I mentioned that he just doesn't give up many hits. And it's a season high. He's out now. The ninth hit to the Twins, and he's only given up 7 a couple of starts.
Eduardo Escobar, the shortstop, singled with 2 outs in the 4th. He takes a strike. Now you think about the rarity of what we saw last night in the 8th inning with Watson, who's one of the best late relievers in baseball. Only 3 times in his career has he given up 4 runs in a game. The other 2 times, both against Milwaukee. One time in the 2012 season, one time in 2011. And that's it. Normally, he's a shutdown 8th inning guy.
And I wouldn't be surprised he never does it again. I mean, that's just how good his stuff is, and his command, and he's just done unbelievably great work on the Pirates bullpen since he's been here.
1-2 the count to the shortstop for the Twins. You make as many appearances as Tony has in his career, over 300 appearances, and that's only happened 3 times. And that's as bad as it gets. There's the 4 runs. Look at Liriano. His last start against the Twins gave up 7 runs in 2 innings. So it happens occasionally. And the 2-2 to Escobar fouled off.
93 miles per hour is Liriano's pitch count, about to approach triple digits.
Pitch number 100 coming up for Frankie. A little bit inside, 3-2.
Cervelli held it. Liriano thought he was going to get it. UPMC Sports Medicine Strike Zone says Just doesn't catch the edge. Just a little too far in off the plate.
Payoff pitch. Poked out of play. Escobar hangs in there. Escobar trying to extend this at bat. Next pitch will be the 8th. Eight runs on 8 hits for the Bucks. 3 runs, 9 hits, 3 errors for Minnesota. 2 on the same play. And Escobar will get a 9th pitch.
Yeah, if you were going to do an outfield demonstration video for youngsters, you wouldn't use this game team. Even not only the errors, but a couple other misplays and some extra bases awarded. Both sides.
Payoff pitch, struck him out. 2 men out for Minnesota in the 6th.
And not many strikeouts. You think of all the guys that Liriano struck out in his last outing, just his 4th today, but still has the nasty changeup. Bottom just falls out. Hitter thinks he's on it, and it just disappears.
Kurt Suzuki hit one deep to center, and it was caught up against the wall by McCutchen. Last time up, he's flying out to center field twice. While we have a moment, we say happy 80th birthday to Jane Collins, a lifelong Pirates fan. She was a season ticket holder when the Pirates played at Forbes Field. It's her 80th birthday today. Jane's 80 years young. Thanks for watching the Pirates all these years, Jane. Also, happy birthday to John Bodnar. He's here today in section 305, but his family and friends in Pittsburgh, Dan, Linda, Kevin, and Sean McGrath, are watching. Happy birthday to John. One is the count to Kurt Suzuki. Rope to left field. Marte will play it on the track, and he's going to throw the ball to second base, and taking off for third is Nunez.
Well, that's the right play. You know, when you're an outfielder in this situation, you have 2 outs. You know, the ball's hit that far down the line and everything else like that. You want to make sure the runner stays put at first base. And so he's not looking up to read where Nunez is. He's just coming up to make sure you keep the force at second base, throwing it to second. He falls as he throws it, but Nunez sees the ball's behind him, so he knew he had all the time in the world to get to third.
And that will be the end of the afternoon for Francisco Liriano, who leaves the ball game with a 5-run lead. He's in line for his 7th win of the season. We'll be back to Target Field in a moment.
Not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Follow the Pirates wherever you are with MLB.com. At Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment at any moment with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Gorgeous day in Minneapolis. The score's nice too. 8-3 Pirates. Bottom of the 6th inning. 2 on for Minnesota. And Francisco Liriano's afternoon has come to a conclusion. Here is Antonio Bastardo to take over with 2 outs.
37th appearance, 2-1, 3.90 ERA. Opponents hitting just .241 against him.
And Bastardo will face Shane Robinson to start his afternoon. Robinson is 1 for 2 today. Liriano, not a bad job. 3 runs, 2 earned to the moment. Book still open on him with the 2 runners on. Bastardo hoping those inherited runners don't go anywhere. The pitch from Bastardo. Up high, ball 1. That's high. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, no telling when the Pirates will be back here again due to future interleague schedules, but kind of a long time between visits. 2009 the last time. The stadium wasn't even built last time the Bucks were here. And this time just a brief 2-game set in less than 24 hours.
Yeah, in and out.
And then we'll head to Cincinnati where he actually can unpack.
4-day trips, you take everything out of the suitcase. 2-day trips, you just pull it out. What you need.
Hey, that's what you want.
2-2 to Robinson.
Robinson gets ahead 2-0. 2-0 fastball was borderline high. And now he chases one borderline high.
And Bastardo now delivering 2-2 to Robinson. Struck him out. A quick work out of the bullpen for Bastardo. Strikes out Robinson. Upping across 2 hits and 2 left as we go to inning number 7. Minneapolis. Time now for our Data Strong Fan photo of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. Let's see this one today. Oh, Dougie Fresh from Steubenville. Strong pose there. Is she flexing her muscles?
Looks like it.
Thanks for sending that in, Dougie Fresh. Armstrong fan of the game, brought to you by T-Mobile. Jung Ho Kang will lead off against Wayne Boyer. Start the 7th inning. Keep those photos coming in. Looking forward to seeing more of them as the season continues to progress. Speaking of progressing through the season, you realize that today is the 100th game of the regular season?
Yeah, flying by.
62 left in the regular season, and then
down the stretch.
Hopefully a bunch more after that.
Yeah.
Pulled foul. Central Division standings, Pirates 5.5 behind the Cardinals. Should they win today, they'll cut it to 5. Cardinals play the Reds later tonight.
Oh, we ought to go to the game.
If you want to go to St. Louis, you can go to the game.
Oh, they're in St. Louis.
Yeah. And a ground ball off the glove of Mauer. And heading to first base is Jung Ho Kang.
That's a tough play. I think Jung Ho should get a base hit on this one.
Well, the official scorer agrees with you, John. He's hit number 9 for the Pirates.
Ball hit right on the button. A tough in-between hop. It's actually played well by Mauer. If you get in front of it and it hits off your chest, they'll give you an error. You play it off to the side, they'll give the guy a hit.
Walker's 2 for 3. Doubled in the 4th, singled in the 6th. Hitting .275. Nobody out. Jung Ho at first base, and Boyer's pitch. And that's in for a strike. Well, we can watch the game tonight.
Yeah.
We'll be in town well before the Reds get back, certainly. We'll probably be in town before the game starts.
We're scheduled to be in before the game starts. Assuming it's a typical 8:10 Eastern start or 7:10 Central start.
Right. John Lackey pitching for the Cardinals. Anthony DeStefani pitching for the Reds tonight. Be interesting to be there this weekend. Trading deadline looming, and it seems like a lot of teams have targeted certain Reds players. Johnny Cueto, the first to go. He's already in a Kansas City Royals uniform. Let's see if there are any more. We'll be heading out of town elsewhere. There's been a lot of chatter about pitchers. Aroldis Chapman and Mike Leake. Leake is scheduled to pitch against the Pirates Sunday.
Well, there will be no Cueto, obviously.
The 2-1 pitch. Down to Mauer. To second for 1. Back to Boyer and out at first. 3-6-1 double play.
Well, this time Mauer, nice little feed to Escobar. This time Escobar puts a little something on the throw for your Chick-fil-A double play. With the pitcher covering, he lets it go. Earlier, Mauer was covering, and he just kind of threw a grenade over there. Joe Mauer turning into a pretty decent first baseman for a guy that really hasn't played there. Till when? Was it last year or the year before he started playing first? Year before?
Pedro Alvarez taking ball 1. Pedro without a hit. He did reach on a fielder's choice in the 6th. Scored the go-ahead run that inning on a wild pitch. Came in from third standing up. Two out, bases empty. 1-0 pitch. 1-1.
Twins with the triangle defense on the right side. Kind of varied their defenses with some guys in this 2-game set.
Pedro couldn't hold up. They have, and depending on where a guy has hit, they've made adjustments in game too. They went from an extreme shift last night to playing a particular hitter straight up with Cervelli.
And Pedro as well. There was a time where the runner on second, 2 outs, the shortstop was almost playing him the other way on the left side.
He was fouled back off to our left. We're in front of the radio booth where Greg and Bob are today. One of the nicer ballparks in baseball, Target Field. Downtown Minnesota. Minneapolis, Minnesota. Be a big downtown for one whole state.
Yeah.
Two and two now. Lane Boyer ready to deliver to Pedro.
If we were to rank the stadium, I don't know where I could put it. I don't know. It's definitely in the top half. I don't know if it makes the top 10.
Well, I think with the amount of food that's available, it would be in the top 10.
I don't rate it on food.
I mean, they bring us food in the booth. They can't give us enough food here. Pedro walks. Let's send you back to Pittsburgh right now. Rob King with this game break. All right, Rob, thank you very much. Keeping an eye on the Cubs and Rockies at Wrigley Field. Francisco Cervelli at the plate, 2 down and a man at first. And that is a base hit. Well, no. Yep. Dozier knocked it down and then somehow was able to flip it over to Escobar. That'll be a hit for Cervelli.
Yeah, it wasn't hit as hard as initially thought off the bat. And good stop by Dozier. But can't do anything with the flip. Didn't have anybody covering anyhow. And so Cervelli, oddly enough, is on base again.
Paul Molitor comes out to get Boyer. A pitching change in Minneapolis. Mikowski with us as well. Pirates a 5-run 6th inning and now lead it 8-3. 10 hits apiece. McCutchen with a 2-run homer. And Jung Ho Kang with a solo home run back in the 2nd inning. Rosario a triple and a run scored for Minnesota. Hicks a single and RBI and a run scored for the Twins. Both starting pitchers are out of the ball game. This is the second reliever for Minnesota. Left-hander Ryan O'Rourke out of Worcester, Massachusetts.
We saw him last night. Lots of sliders from O'Rourke. Throws a fastball, slider, changeup, but to the lefties we saw a ton of sliders. Just a 111 batting average against for O'Rourke in 8 1/3 innings. 108 ERA, 10 punch outs, 4 walks.
O'Rourke facing Ishikawa. Strike one. His major league debut with a perfect 9th inning and 1 strikeout on the 7th of this month against Baltimore. After 6 seasons in the minor leagues. Comes from a place there aren't many big leaguers coming from. Merrimack College, which is near Lowell, Massachusetts. Pitch is outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Ishikawa.
Travis getting a chance to face a lefty. Similar scenario last night. Clint Hurdle went with Sean Rodriguez when they brought the lefty in.
And Ishikawa goes down on strikes, and that's the inning. A couple of hits for the Pirates. No runs. It's stretch time. Special Inside Pirates Baseball. Head to Cincinnati with Garrett Cole, A.J. Burnett, Andrew McCutcheon, and Mark Melanson as they take part in this year's Midsummer Classic on Inside Pirates Baseball. Kings of Queen City tomorrow at 6 on Root Sports. Bottom of the 7th inning, Pirates with an 8-3 lead. And Antonio Bastardo will stay on the pitch. He'll face the top of the Twins order. Brian Dozier, the second baseman, will lead off. He's 1 for 3 today. Bastardo came in out of the bullpen. Faced one man, Shane Robinson. Fell behind in the count, came back to strike him out. Ball 1. Dozier had an at-bat in the 5th inning with the leadoff man Robinson at second base, and the Twins electing to play small ball. He had, as you mentioned, Rock, hadn't had a sacrifice all year, and he tried to sacrifice on 2 pitches and fouled them both off and ended up striking out.
Who knows if the game changes there? Who knows what happens after that? But it just didn't make much sense to me. A guy that can drive them in, perhaps hit a ball out of the ballpark.
Bastardo facing Dozier, 3-0 pitch. That's up high. A 4-pitch walk, and Dozier is aboard. Start the home half of the 7th inning. Antonio worked a scoreless 8th inning Thursday night against Washington. That puts the leadoff man aboard here.
Let's see if we can get this guy out.
Yeah, Hicks has been hitting the ball all over the place today. 3 hits.
After a 2 for 3 night last night.
Three singles today. Had one in the 3rd inning. Originally scored a double. And the official score later changed it to a single. And an error on Marte. 0-1 the count to Hicks. Backed him out of the way. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Maybe that makes him a little uncomfortable. It's just a slider, you know, just trying to back foot a slider, but Bastardo has been missing up a few batters he's faced here today.
Bastardo's 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. I told you about the Cubs and Rockies 3-1 in the 4th at Wrigley Field. Another game in the American League today, Tampa Bay and Detroit. Detroit would win the ball game, but Tampa Bay's Chris Archer had a perfect game for a while. He had a very good outing today. And Rob King showed us how that one got broken up earlier. And the game that wasn't so close in Cleveland, the Indians had beaten Kansas City 12-1. Hicks won that one. How about that Yankee game last night with Texas? New York putting 21 runs on the board against the Rangers.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They play again tonight in Arlington. Throw first. And back is the runner Dozier. Two delivery. Got him swinging. 2 strikeouts for Bastardo. There's 1 down for Minnesota with Joe Mauer coming up.
Upstairs with the fastball. Again, for the most part, he's been up in the strike zone, and that one right at the letters. And blows it by Hicks.
Bastardo quietly getting a good job done. He's allowed an earned run in just 3 of his 18 appearances on the road this year. Howard takes upstairs for ball 1. He has only allowed 3 of his 18 inherited runners to score. He inherited 2 of them last inning. 2-0 to Mauer. Another bit of news today regarding the trade front. Looks like the Dodgers are going to have another guy in the rotation, Matt Latos. Deal with Miami.
How that will fit in. I hear rumors or rumblings about him not being the best teammate in the world. Doesn't seem to fit in Miami, that's for sure.
That's his hometown. Figured that's where he wanted to be. Didn't work out. So he was sent to Los Angeles. Dodgers looking for more starting pitching. They've got 2 really good ones. Really good ones. Kershaw and Greinke. Other than that, they've had to deal with injuries. Other issues. See the Dodgers in the next homestand at PNC Park when the Cubs and Dodgers come in early August. Bauer, a little comebacker. Bastardo to Walker. Everybody's safe. Oh, the initial throw just way offline. He had a double play ball right there, but looked like he had some English he had to deal with when the ball spun on him once it came off the ground.
You think, certain pitchers, I think you need to be reminded often just to not lead anybody, just throw the ball over the bag. That should be your target. You look at the base, just throw it, 4 feet above the bag. So often you see that when the infielder isn't at the bag, you'll see a little panic, and then you try to lead them or throw it one way or the other. And he knows where he's throwing before the ball's hit to him, because anytime a hitter comes up, you have a runner at first and there's one out or no outs, they'll point it and holler. The shortstop or second base will say, hey, me and you, hey, me and you. Typically with a left-handed batter up like Mauer, he's pointing at Jung Ho. Jung Ho's pointing back. And so that's what you do. You turn, you step, you pick up the bag, and you can either wait until the middle infielder gets there, or you try to lead him there. But there he goes. Bastardo pointing to who he has, and this time he points to Neil Walker with the right-handed batter Sano up. So
a fielder's choice for Mauer and an error charged to Bastardo. Second Pirates error this afternoon. 2 on and 1 out. Sano has a hit, 1 for 3. Also has driven in a run this afternoon, and he ropes one foul. Now, looking at Sano defensively, and he's the designated hitter here. The Twins thought about maybe somewhere in the infield. Now they're starting to think down the road he'd be a first baseman. There is some thought perhaps about an outfield position, but he can flat out hit. So with the DH in this league, they're going to get him in the lineup. He has been the DH predominantly since his call up from the minor leagues. Jared Hughes now throwing for the Pirates. Sano swing and a miss.
He's thinking of tying it up in a 5-run homer. It's a big cut. 8-3 ball game.
Ready for the 1-2. Runners off first and second. And Sano takes on the outside. Evens the count at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Ready for the 2-2 pitch is Miguel Sano. Count of 4.
Already issued 1 free pass, then you make the error, so you definitely don't want to give any more breaks or favors to this offense. Make them earn it.
There comes the payoff from Bastardo. Back off to our right.
Came right at him. Challenged him. Fastball. Middle of the plate. Tied him up a bit. You see it a little bit up. But pretty much middle.
Up high ball thrown, and the bases are now loaded. The Pirates need to do whatever they have to prevent any kind of late inning comeback like there was last night. Right now, Twins with a threat. Bases full for the first time today for them. Bastardo's coming out. Jared Hughes is ready. Clint Hurdle is asking for him from the bullpen. So Bastardo walks 2, commits an error, and he will leave the ball game. And Hughes will inherit 3 base runners with 1 down. Pitching change, timeout. Don't run away. One out. Sano is at first. Mauer's at second. Ryan Dozier at third base. And the batter will be Eddie Rosario. Eduardo Nunez on deck. And the ground ball specialist for the Pirates leads the ground ball right now to get the Bucks out of the inning.
51st appearance, 2-1, a 2.01 ERA. And he's been called upon plenty of times in these situations with inherited runners. He's done a great job getting out of it.
Strike 1 to Rosario.
Good movement on that 2-seam fastball. Running away from the left-handed batter. Dangerous hitter, Rosario. Again, powered all fields.
Pirates a 5-run lead here in the 7th. Couldn't get Rosario to chase that one. It's 1-1. He has tripled in each of his last 2 games. He has 5 of those on the year. Jared's 1-1 delivery to Rosario. Fouled off. 1-2. Hughes pitched last night, inning in the 3rd. He has induced 7 ground ball double plays this season. He's another one right now.
Threw a 1-1 changeup up there. That's a pitch you don't see from Jared Hughes very often.
1-2. Struck him out. Rosario down on strikes. There are 2 away. Infield can play back now.
Use that movement and get some chases. Jared Hughes didn't throw any of these 4 pitches in the strike zone. But, you know, a couple of those 2-seam fastballs, they start on the outside part of the plate and just run away from it. By the time the hitter realizes that the ball is going to be a ball, they've already committed.
Now Eduardo Nunez takes strike 1.
Maybe Jared got a call there. Nunez looks back.
.279 the average for Nunez. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, probably got a call on that first pitch. What do you think?
A little bit off the plate in.
He has allowed only 4 of his 30 inherited runners to score. 2-1.
Maybe giveth and taketh away. That one looked pretty good.
Yeah, you're right. So the count's where it should be. And a ground ball toward third. That's a foul ball. Evened up now, 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases loaded. Foul it back. Hughes working on putting out the fire that Antonio Bastardo started this inning. Walking 2.
And he certainly doesn't fear these situations.
And here is Jarrett's 2-2 pitch. Ground ball right side. Ishikawa is there. He'll go to Hughes, and Hughes gets there.
What a play that is.
Jared Hughes able to get there. Ishikawa hit him. We'll go to the 8th. Pirates and Twins get closer to wrapping up their season series. And how about Jared Hughes' performance, especially on this play here? Gets those long legs over to first base.
Yeah, a couple of things there. I mean, for one, the big strikeout and getting the weak grounder, but the whole timing, not just Jared Hughes getting to the bag, but the play by Ishikawa. I mean, look at him lead him. You know, after he thinks he has a force at second, and so now he has to turn. And it's almost like the what do you call it? Not the Statue of Liberty play, but it's almost like it wasn't football, like when you fake one way and throw the screen the other way. Yeah, but man, there's a play call for that. I can't think of what it is. But anyhow, you know, he fakes right and he goes left and has to hit the guy on the run on a slant and leads him perfectly. Pretty impressive stuff if you can understand any of it.
Slot right, cup right, 826. Zebra. Screen.
Bubble screens. Bubble screen. The bubble screen.
I was trying to think of what you
I think it's what it's called. The bubble screen.
Bubble screen. That's good. 2 strikes on Jeff Decker. 1 ball and 2 strikes. You played football a little bit at Carrick, didn't you?
Very little bit.
Very little?
Very little bit. Yeah, Mom wouldn't let me play.
Yeah. Once she found out they had a bubble screen, it was all over.
No, there was no throwing at Carrick.
All running. 3 yards in a cloud of dust?
Pretty much. Passing didn't end very well. Actually, yeah, I guess they had a pretty decent quarterback. They threw the ball a little bit. PJ Zolbo, we have a nice wide receiver. He's a good PJ.
Three balls and 2 strikes to Jeff Decker. And here comes the pitch to Jeff. Strike 3 call. Looked at a breaking ball. Decker out on strikes. He's 0 for 2. 1 out in the Pirates half of the 8th. Paul Molitor coming out to get Brian O'Rourke now.
Yeah, O'Rourke's been in this game for about 35 minutes. Faced 2 batters. Kind of strange.
All right, we're going to step aside and run the bubble screen. Pitching change, timeout. Root Sports, A.J. Burnett. The TBA, I believe, is going to be left-handed pitcher David Holmberg, who will make his debut tomorrow night, Game 1. Friday, Jeff Locke and Michael Lorenzen, Garrett Cole and Raisel Iglesias on Saturday. And the probables for Sunday, Charlie Morton and Mike Lee. All subject to change. And Tuesday night at home, see the sign of Major League Baseball supporting research for ALS, and then Tuesday night at home when the Cubs are in, it'll be our annual Root Sports auction with the proceeds this year to benefit ALS research and hopefully a way to kick that disease. So here's J.R. Graham. Graham coming in to replace O'Rourke after 2/3 of an inning and 2 strikeouts.
3.38 ERA. Hard thrower.
Strike 1 to Marte. Starting with a base hit in the 5th. Sacrifice fly in the 6th inning. He drove in a run. Fouls it back. Marte and then McCutchen due up next. Remember, Polanco left this game in the 4th inning due to left knee discomfort. No further word on him. Other than that, we'll hopefully see him back in the lineup tomorrow in Cincinnati. A rocket over the first base dugout foul.
Tied up Marte, 95 miles per hour.
Archimedes Caminero ready to go in the bullpen. Pirates made a small trade today, John. Jason Aquino, left-hander who was just DFA'd this week, had some time on the Pirates 40-man roster, sent to Cleveland for cash considerations. It popped up back at first. Mauer a long way to go, and this ball will fall just foul. Marte has to get all the way back to home. Pirates and PNC Bank have teamed up to offer Pirates fans a special deal. Save $5 on select Sunday through Thursday tickets. Plus get $5 in loaded value, good for concessions and merchandise at PNC Park. Just use your PNC Pirates Affinity card to purchase tickets. Get more details at pirates.com/piratescard.
I think that'd be weird as a player to be traded for cash. Oh, who'd you get traded for?
Ben Franklin, a couple of Andrew Jacksons, and Abraham Lincoln to be named later. Marte to right field. This ball will be caught. Hangs up for the right fielder Rosario. 2 down.
I mean, if the figures aren't announced, you can always make a figure up. Well, we got traded for like $5 million,
$17 billion. Two outs and Andrew McCutchen the batter. 2 for 3 today with a 2-run homer. He has driven in 3 runs. And Graham set to deliver. That's outside. See, Graham's got those high socks, the high stirrups. There's a reason for it. Not just fashion. His mother is legally blind, and she can see him better on television due to his socks. With his socks way up high like that. So he wears those for his mom.
Cool.
Old style stirrups. Kutch takes outside. Kutch has a new style sock on. Those 3 striped socks again today.
Which I don't believe are stirrups.
Those are just regular old socks.
Just regular old socks, which are much more comfortable than stirrups.
Two and 2 to Kutch. 2 outs, base is empty. And Graham ready to deliver. And the pitch on the way. And a ground ball past the mound, slowly hit. And he is out at first.
Oh, that's a heck of a play. I didn't think he had a chance.
Escobar with a 360 move, still had enough on it to get McCutchen by an eyelash at first base. Eduardo Escobar. Heck of a play to get Kutch. Pirates with an 8-3 lead as we head to the bottom of the 8th inning at Target Field in Minneapolis. Sun-splashed afternoon. Gorgeous day for a game. Archimedes Caminero comes on to replace Jared Hughes. Hughes went 2/3 of an inning. And by the way, Jared's ERA now is at 1.99. He's just gone under 2.
Impressive work, and Caminero going to work on getting that ERA down. Has struggled of late. Off to a good start, but hasn't been good the last few weeks. 46th appearance, 1-1, a 4.47 ERA.
First ball swinging. Escobar grounds it to Walker. 1 out. It's a good way to start. Caminero has given up a couple of long balls in his last 2 outings, and certainly is planning on making some adjustments to that routine.
Should get a free strike here. 1 pitch, 1 out, so you can throw this one right down the middle. You know, word travels fast, and the league knows about Caminero and his velocity and how hard he throws, and so they're all up there gearing up for it. And I think until he starts throwing some more breaking balls or locate that 98 on the edges.
And a ground ball to short. Good pick by Ishikawa at the end of the play. There are 2 men out.
And that time I think Cammy threw a little slider. So now 3 pitches, 2 outs. Should get another free strike, you would think. They had to throw that first one in there.
Caminero leads all National League rookie pitchers in appearances. He's 46th. He's had plenty of work, that's for sure. And Jorge Polanco, who was called up today from AAA Rochester, take the spot temporarily of Trevor Plouffe on the 25-man roster. Plouffe is on paternity leave, left after the game last night. Jorge Polanco takes a strike, and it's 1-1. Polanco batting for Shane Robinson. Two outs, last half of the 8th. This one up in the air to short center field. On the run, McCutchen. He'll make the run and catch. And that is a quick, easy, and tight 1, 2, 3. Bottom of the 8th inning for Archimedes Caminero. The Reds. Our coverage starts tomorrow at 6:30 with Pirates pregame presented by WB Mason on Root Sports. A.J. Burnett pitching for the Pirates at 8-4. We're expecting to see David Holmberg, a lefty, make his debut, and it is a beautiful day for baseball. And it's Pirates territory today as they lead 8-3, and trying to sweep Paul Molitor's Twins in this 2-game set. Eduardo Escobar moves out to left field. And Polanco is at short for Minnesota. Ramos Ramirez at the plate, takes ball one. Facing J.R. Graham, top of the ninth. Ramirez doubled in the fifth inning. Get this one in the air to right field, fairly deep. This ball going back, it's off the wall, and that will be a long single. Very long single. And you hope that gets a little higher and caroms off the limestone right there on that porch that hangs over the right field wall with a cut underneath it.
I like the approach. Ramirez, I think after his struggles his first few games as a Pirate has decided, hey, I need to start going the other way. And 3 of his last 4 at bats, he has stayed inside. Got a double single to right. I'm going to get the rest of the afternoon off.
Former Twin Pedro Florimon will go out and run for him. Turnbull takes ball one. Gunn with 2 hits today. So for the pitching side of things, good work out of Liriano. He does go 5 2/3, gives up 3 runs, only 2 earned. Just misses a quality start by 1/3 of an inning.
Maybe not his best stuff. Didn't get the big strikeouts, a season high in hits allowed as Guerra gets loose in the pen.
Bouncer, that is a stop by Nunez. He'll go to second. Safe at second is Florimon. And in at first is Jung-Ho Gung with the fielder's choice.
Yeah, that good speed of Florimon. Hopefully that gets earns Jung-Ho a base hit. If Ramirez is over at first, good chance that he's forced.
Oh, they did.
At second.
They're going to call that a hit. So that's good. That's 3 hits now. See how close it was. Florimon got over there in a hurry.
No guarantee if he comes up and fires at the first that he throws out Jung-Ho. So you have to score to hit.
Nunez had to make that play with extra effort too. So another 3-hit game for Gung. Walker's got a 2-hit game. Single double. Suzuki wanted that ball hit him in a funny spot. So he needs just a second. See if he got it on his hand. No? Oh, maybe it did.
Where's that? Looks like hit him in the glove hand. It looked like he has one of those plastic thumb protectors in there. You get a pitcher up there with good sink, good run. They'll break that thumb in the glove. So a lot of catchers have that little piece of hard plastic in there to keep it stable.
Wait.
0-2 to Walker.
Neal probably frustrated he couldn't pull the trigger on that one. As a hitter, sometimes you get that. You get a fastball pretty much down the middle, and you're like, why did I swing? What's going on? What happened?
Slowly hit to the left side. And he'll get the one in the middle. That's it. One out, runners at the corners. Gung is forced at second. Pedro Alvarez hitless today. He's been on base twice. Walker at first and Flormon at third. And now Pedro facing J.R. Graham. And he hammers it to right field, and that's going to go to the wall. Flormon will score. Walker will get waved home. And Neal around third. He's going to score standing up. It's a 2-run double for Alvarez, and the Pirates lead it 10-3.
There's certain guys you just can't throw a fastball down the middle to, and that's Pedro Alvarez. And first pitch, looking for the heat. Knows Graham likes to throw the fastball. And look where it is. Middle. Pedro's not missing many of those.
Gets stuck under the padding. That might have helped him a little. At least Walker. So double number 15 for Pedro. And Alvarez has now driven in 49 runs. Cervelli's had a good series. 3 hits last night, 2 more hits today. That's a swinging bunt that is going to roll foul.
It's nice to bring the offense on the road. You know, the Pirates team, saw them struggle last week or last road trip, the first road trip after the All-Star break in Milwaukee and Kansas City. Didn't do a whole lot. And you go back to PNC Park against the Nationals, very good pitching team, put some runs on the board, knock Max Scherzer around a little bit, and you hope it continues on the road, and it certainly has here in Minnesota now. 18 runs first 2 games of this trip. Everybody contributing. McCutchen today. Quiet last night was Andrew. Right in the middle of it this afternoon. And you have to like the way the Pirates adjusted against a guy like Santana. You know, first time through the lineup, they were just 1 for 8 against him. Second time against Santana, just 1 for 8 again. And then the third time through, it made a big difference. That's where they had their big inning. Scored 5 in the 6th, where they went 5 for 8 the third time through the lineup. Jung Ho got the only hit the first time through the order. Big solo homer.
Goes to the backstop, and Pedro down to third. Second time today he's advanced on a wild pitch. He did that in the 4th inning, but it was from third to the plate. Gave the Pirates a 4-3 lead, and they haven't looked back since. Under the sun in the last 4 games prior to this one, the Pirates 3-1 with a 1.80 ERA, looking to go to 4-1 in the last 5-day games. People interested in the interleague record, the Pirates do have the most interleague wins in Major League Baseball this season with 12. Looking to put a capper on that with 13.
Pirates and Twins done with interleague after today.
That's good, because you don't want to have one of those series when you're in a pennant race in September. And a chopper to Mauer. He will toss to Graham covering. Alvarez unable to move up.
Yeah, that's a situation where, if it's a tie game and you see a chopper like that, or a 1-run game, you see a chopper like that, yeah, maybe you're going. You recognize it's not going to get to the fielder very quickly, or you may even have a contact play on, but you get a big league late in the game, 10-3, you're not going try to score unless that ball goes through the infield.
Number 9 hitter Ishikawa. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. Pirate first baseman looks at the first pitch inside. Ishikawa started the year with the Giants and spent most of the time in AAA in Sacramento. One time considered stepping away from the game because he wasn't sure he'd be back in the big leagues. Didn't want to be one of the free agents that was running around and trying to get a job from place to place, and getting ready to the point where he was getting ready to move on with his life. But the Giants called him up last year, and to compound the situation, to make it a little more interesting for him, playing first base, they put him in left field. Hadn't played there in a long, long time. It all worked out. Graham's 2-1 pitch. Ground ball toward the middle. Polanco is there for the Twins. Pirates put 2 more up on the 2-run double by Pedro Alvarez. They take a 10-3 lead into the bottom of the ninth. Man of the year, also looking to trim more games off. This will be a half game in this case. Off the division leading Cardinals, Pedro Alvarez. 2-run double. 15th double of the year. RBIs 48 and 49. New pitcher on Deolis Guerra. Takes over for Caminero, who won an inning. Hitless and scoreless relief. In fact, the 1-2-3 inning was the first time in the last 2 games that the Pirates have had a 1-2-3 inning on the defensive side.
Here, picked up 2 early wins early in his major league rookie year.
Pedro Florman takes over at shortstop with Ramos Ramirez out of the game. Jung Ho Gung will move over to third. So Brian Dozier will lead off for the Twins in the bottom half of the 9th inning. He's 1 for 4 today with a double. 1 for 3, I beg your pardon. He walked his last time up, so 1 for 3. So 3 outs to get. Head over to Cincinnati.
Keep it going. Make a nice little run. Hopefully the Cards stumble a bit. They're due. They're due to lose 7 out of 10 or so.
Popped up over by the Pirate dugout. That'll make it over the dugout.
And one of the rare times you see a batter hit a fly ball behind him. I think directly behind him.
And Guerra's 0-2 to Brian Dozier. 1 ball, 2 strikes. There's a Jolly Roger in the house. He's unfurling it, getting ready to raise it. I have the feeling we're going to see a few of those in Cincinnati this weekend.
Oh yeah, should be a good turnout. Pittsburghers often make that trip.
A bunch of folks will be driving over.
In Cincy, they'll be prepared and they'll have their Pirate jerseys, unlike up here in the north, where they like their hockey. You see the Pittsburgh fan with their Penguin gear on.
Strike 3 call. Dozier going to give the umpire Pat Hoberg a slight earful. He goes down for the second time on strikes.
A little bit of a delayed call too. It took him a moment to ring him up. Pitch way up. You don't see the pitch up above the letters called very often.
One out, and Hicks, the batter, switch hitter, batting left-handed against the right-hander Guerra. Yeah, hockey is sort of a big deal around this part of the country.
Yeah,
sort of.
That's the only excuse I'm giving to that guy who was in front of the girl with the Jolly Roger for wearing the Penguin jersey. He's up north, and I'm guessing hockey. A lot of these parts is followed more so than football or baseball.
I'll keep battling, Hicksy. We'll keep playing.
Sure, there's a lot of lake hockey, pond hockey.
A lot of pond hockey. In fact, a number of years ago, here's the pitch. That's outside. I worked on a college game over at the University of Minnesota, and it was part of a triple header that day. And they do it every year called Hockey Day in Minnesota. And the first game was a high school game on a pond. They set up stands on the frozen water and everything. It was neat. And then there was the college game at the university, and then through to the Minnesota Wild Dallas Stars game after that. But they do that each year here. They'll go high school, college, and the NHL game the same day. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Hicks. 1 out, base is empty, bottom of the 9th. Garrett Cole's going to get another shot at the Cincinnati Reds this weekend. For whatever reason, he hasn't been able to do to them what he's done to everybody else. A full count now to Hicks. Won't be that long before you see some guys skating around right here on this channel. Hicks fouls it off. Let's check in with Robbie.
Hockey Day Minnesota, they do 14 hours of live programming. It starts at 10 a.m. and they do 3 high school hockey games, 2 boys and a girls game, and then they do a Gopher hockey game, and then a Minnesota Wild game. It's 14 straight hours, so between games they carry live hockey programming here. It's pretty impressive. It's a pretty passionate state for hockey. Nothing like Western PA, but it's pretty passionate here in the upper Midwest, Tim.
3-2 pitch now to Hicks. Foul right back.
Yeah, it's amazing. Everybody talks about how long the baseball season is. Now, hockey goes to the end of June. And it'll start, I'm guessing, September. Shorter off season in the baseball.
And that's a foul tip caught by Cervelli. That is strike 3. And Hicks is out. And Dale Guerra struck out of the first 2 he's faced.
popular man here with the Twins. First and second batter, Pat Hoberg. Take a look here.
That looks like it didn't hit the bat. That tick sound that he heard might have been the ground. We've seen that go the other way for the Pirates a couple of times. Supermo slowing it down.
He offered at it anyhow.
One to Mauer.
Go ahead, Joe. Go, Joe.
0 for 4 today for the first baseman. Count 1-1. Dale Esguerra ready to deliver. Ground ball wide to first, and the Twins down to their final strike. So the Twins took 2 in Pittsburgh. Their visit there in May. And the Pirates have come into Minnesota and are 1 strike away from taking 2 back and splitting the 4-game series with Minnesota this year. Either it'll count as a sweep. It'll be their 11th sweep of the year. That's a big number.
Yeah, I'd say.
Now the 1-2 to Mauer. And a ground ball into right field, a base hit. Mauer extends his hitting streak from 9 to 10 games. And he does it on his last strike.
You figure, the Twins are going to collect 11 hits, and everybody in the lineup's going to have one. You have to think Mauer had to be included in that, but yeah, that's just his first hit. Now everybody in the lineup. Base hit, 1 through 9.
18 runs over 2 games for the Pirate offense. Mauer will take second base. Ball gets by Cervelli, and Mauer will keep going down to third. So he was going to second. It wouldn't have been a stolen base anyway. It would have been defensive indifference, but he ends up at third on the ball that went to the backstop.
Breaking ball just gets by that right hip. I can't believe Joe Mauer went to third right there.
Could have ended the game.
Which would look really bad.
One-0 pitch, and Miguel Sano swings through.
Come on, line drive, Nick. Come on. Stay through.
Dale Esguerra trying to wrap things up here today.
Away.
2-1. Sano is going to develop into being a pretty dangerous hitter for these Twins.
Oh, yeah, definitely. No doubt about it. Great power.
Well, for the second time, the Twins now down to their last strike. Fans excited, as they should be. Where this ball club has gone, Jenny, realized the Pirates now have 1 more win on this season here in the month of July than they did in the entire 2010 season.
Wow.
57. This one's down the right field line. That's going to drop in for a hit. Mauer will score. On his way to second is Sano. He will be out, and that's the ball game.
Where are you going? That just makes no sense. You're down 6 runs. Just pull into second, but got to be happy for the Buccos. That's one way I've never seen a game end. But well, the Bucks pull out a 10-4 win. And they end up evening up their record on the road now, 24-24 on the road with the first 2 wins, and hopefully that'll continue through the weekend in Cincinnati.
Most sweeps since the